speaking from Bharat, India on this day of March 9, 2021 regarding professional talk. This talk for everybody, and the issue is very important, which you know very well what my issue is, and that is this: always, always, always. Very important point in life is this: we can't do against this. If you do against this, you do against yourself. That's what's my thinking about quality is. It's nothing new for me to talk about this. It's evergreen subject in everybody's life, and it's all over world. It's not only here, it's everywhere. Quality is important in every walk of life. Without this, we can't survive. To be very frank, that should be view in mind, that without quality we can't survive. And by chance, if we survive, we cannot say that. We can't say what we are, where we are. We have to understand ourselves this way. We have many sketches about various issues like excavation trenches. I like to discuss them, but it takes some time, and therefore I will also take some time. You people have to understand how much problem it is to cover quality issues, because everything is quality. Without quality, if we move, we make mistakes ourselves. I can say every small work should be considered important if we want to move with quality. If you say no, this work is very small, let it go as it is, in that case I can say we shall cheat ourselves. That is very important part. We don't want to cheat ourselves, but if this happens, we will say we'll cheat ourselves. That's very important point. First important consideration should always be safety. If safety is maintained, then we can work safe. Otherwise, it's all delusion. We stay in delusion that we are working fine, but actually it doesn't. So from that point of view, I'm trying to collect certain ideas on this issue, and those ideas are always very important one. Always very important one, and we should be worrying about them. That worry is very, very important. I talk of quality because I know quality does not exist. That is only one reason I am interested to talk of quality. And it's very important to understand why we are not achieving it. What is the reason behind that? You may dispute with me, I don't mind. Everybody has a right to dispute, and you can also dispute that I am wrong, and hope I may be wrong. I will be happy if I am found wrong. Then I will be very, very happy. But I know with confidence I can say that I am not wrong. Problem is that because facts are different. Facts are different, very, very different. Now, when I talk of quality, I can say I talk of life of product. Life of product, when I talk of quality as an individual, I talk of individuality, or you may call it personality. When you say personality, this means quality involvement. Everybody has different character, different approach, different viewpoint, different mindset, and different, ambition. There was a time when people had ambitions. I want to serve society by achieving this position or by having this education. I want to become teacher to uplift society. I want to become engineer to develop society. I want to become doctor to serve poor or those who don't have this privilege of medical science. Or like that, everybody had certain objective for society, particularly in our country. But that gradually, that golden approach, you can say that really sincere approach has diminished gradually, and now there is no such sincerity in approach. That doesn't exist. Money has overtaken everything. This is unfortunate that we have become slaves to money. Money to some extent is fine for survival, for health, for movement, for uplift, it's fine. But if you consider money to a level, you want to dip in seas, ocean of money, then I think situation becomes different. For example, now if you take nature into your own consideration, if nature gives you material and takes out something, material it gives you and it takes out your soul, you are a very healthy person, say. Your body is brilliant, you have a good house, and God takes back your soul. What shall happen to you? And I think your soul is your most important belonging. Actually, your body has soul, a soul is your body, you can say either way. So if your soul doesn't exist, what shall happen to your body? And what shall happen to everything where your body is staying? Means you will extinguish yourself. That's what I say. If you consider quality in humanity, or quality, it is soul power that you have. Soul changes you. I'm not talking soul science, but I'm talking reference only. Because without soul, without spirit, without Atma, nothing is going to happen. So quality criteria is to be considered that way. Quality is not only in materials or in products or in your working. It exists everywhere. Only point is how much do you cover up. Nobody can cover up 100% because nature also has mixed up everything. If you see natural materials, neither is 100% pure. You will find, you may call it scientifically foreign materials or impurities in whatever. It may be something, somewhere may be some purity for some material in one part, but it may be some other material in other part. So you can say, I may call scientifically, okay, this is impurity in this, but maybe it is purity somewhere else. So we can't, originally, we can't, you can say basically or fundamentally, we can't say that what I say is right, this is only reference statement. And also I'm talking now to you, it is about quality, which is reference term. It's not absolute term, because absolutely we have not that capacity. We can get quality absolutely or 100%. It's not going to happen. Quality is always prescribed or defined. It is mandated for something, it is limited for something. Is this limit, this is within this range, you have to be there, and we specify description of that range. Okay, you do this much, we will say that you abide by, you complied with this provision or with this quality. So our quality is very limited, and if you compare the quality of God, our quality got no place there, because our quality is very limited. If you compare to whole universe, which is work of God, sometime for God did, how could God do that? We can't even imagine. Whatever we do this time now, currently in science or in technology, it's very, very, very tiny if you compare percentage wise to universe power. It's very little, and we always jump on that, boost on that. Okay, we have done this. Okay, fine, you are doing is fine. Okay, you are doing work, you are doing scientifically, you are doing engineering wise, you are upgrading technology, but you are losing also something which you can't realize. Means you keep in mind we are very good in science, move forward, we are very scientifically advanced society. I think that that's the wrong approach. No science exists in humanity because science is given by God in terms of nature. When we understand nature, we can say, okay, this is science. Again, I say, I can't imagine as an engineer how this voluminous materials of all planets, from where it was procured, and how could it be used in these planets. I cannot understand, and it's very difficult to understand because I am creature on earth and I don't know about other creatures or other planets or other creatures. I don't have idea. But I'm a creature only. I am not my own. Somebody created me through certain system. Somebody created me, this universe, through some system. And we are far from that understanding. So our scope of thinking is limited, but that scope of thinking which is limited must be concentrated. That's what we are missing. Being an engineer, I know that thinking is very responsible. Thinking is very much essential. Without thinking, I cannot do anything, and that's what education means. When we study in our schools, that time our mind got nothing. Our mind wants to play. Our minds want to play. What happens to kids? Kids want to enjoy because there is nothing in mind. In minds, imaginations exist. To count stars, that habit exists. To fly in air, that habit exists. But we know that is not reality. That is imaginary world. But when we grow up and we get higher education and further education, our mind is programmed, and that program has to further program and to further work, and that's how education gives us. I don't consider certificate as education because how much I can understand, how much I can think, to what extent I can go beyond my learning, that is done by mental power. And my power or your power is very small, very low substantially, but it works. I mean, that's why I say, if you want to increase, or just like internet, we say this is internet. We understand this net and this website and this website. You find and move on this internet. You will find many websites and you can access them. You can use them. And same thing is mind. This knowledge, that knowledge is mind. This knowledge and that knowledge is mind. Where my mind is full of knowledge, I can interconnect various files. I can interlink various files in my mind, and I can find more answers. That's what mental activity symbols do. And in engineering sciences, in engineering world, and particularly in civil engineering, which is very much fundamental in basics engineering, we have to drive formulas. Maybe you people are not clear about this, common people, but every engineer knows that in civil engineering we have to drive a lot of formula. I can't count them. We work on calculus, we work on trigonometry, we work on all kind of mathematics, and we reach so many formula we can't even express them in few hours. And also there are hundreds of empirical formula which are based on various scientific people or non-scientific people. They try to do something in life, and they observed, and by observation they reach to some conclusion. As if you take this, it happens. So conditionally, you can say those formula are empirical, which are based on application of or theoretical, not theoretical, practical observation. And that means engineering is full of, you can say, derived formula, and you can say empirical formula, empirical and their derivation, and this collection of formula and their understanding and their derivation and their use ultimately lead to theories of engineering. Engineering theories are never, these are dependent on history, and we have to use them only, or we can amend them, we can modify them by practical experience or by research and innovation. That is very important part. So all this is quality. I'm saying quality is not just the word which we think so far. This is quality. Oh, this material is according to specific this quality. That is very ordinary specification. Quality means quality approach. What I say, approach and our performance. That is most important. We can change quality by changing our understanding. We can redefine quality to depending on to what actually we need. We can redefine everything that is in the scope of quality itself. quality is never unlimited. No, it's never limited. We make it limited for certain application. We make it okay. We can't do unlimited work. We have certain limitations, fund limitation, budget limitation, time limitation, and definition of project limitation. So we limit ourselves, and that's limited quality. I can say quality has many terms in that case. And when you're doing research work, innovation work, your vistas are wide in your broad vistas. In that case, you can say yes, it's different. Means we cannot simply say this is quality. This is quality wide scope of quality, where you can define, redefine, and work on that. As far as innovation is concerned, there's no control. Means you have your own control. Whatever result you get of one act, you can work again on that result and you find result another one. So this sequence go on. This sequence goes on and on and on, and that's what quality is. So my explanation about quality is in this case because we have to deal with quality in different fashion, in very different fashion. We have to understand that quality, how we move this, how do we understand this. Quality is in fact life, I say, because life itself has quality. If you are not quality person, your life is you are self a burden. You will find yourself burden. And if you understand quality and make quality in every approach in your life, every act and deed in your life, you shall find yourself different. When you did not know yourself, you could not calculate that time you were a kid, or mathematical formulas you could not understand. But time came when you could understand that, then you feel different pleasure. Oh, I can calculate it. Calculation stage and non-calculation stage both were different. When you could not calculate, you could not understand mathematics, you are different or disappointed person. Mathematics is very difficult. Like I understand that when you try to understand and you could understand successfully, then oh, it's so easy. It's application of mind. How could I not understand before? And then you become very smart in calculation, and you go on and on to multiply yourself in that. You immerse in that, and then mathematical select subject, which is experience based, practice based, which are nothing to do with cramming. Oh, I can do little more. Then you find interest in that because you are getting some information through mathematics which you cannot get otherwise, because that is only subject. Calculation is only subject. Mathematics is only subject in life which counts everywhere. This whole universe is based on mathematics. It can't be otherwise. Scientific mathematics, other mathematics, God knows well what mathematics and which age that did. So I don't depend upon what our belief says. I am of different type person, and I know what actually that is. So I am of different nature here. I can't believe. I believe only when I experience something, observe something, or find evidence of something. Evidence means it doesn't mean you have to prove in court. You have to prove to yourselves, yes, I can prove it. And that is what science requires. That's what system requires. If you have some system and you prove your own system and your system is functional, that you can say, oh, my system is working. This is quality standard of my system. It works up to this level, and that's okay. Means I define my system. There's nothing illegal in that, and I define in that system. I move in that system. I work on this, and then I find a process to do something or to deliver some product or some service through that system. That's where quality definition exists. To that confinement, to that limits. Just like in integral calculus, from this limit to this limit, integrate this, and we integrate that. Like from 0 to this value, limit this and limit this. That's where quality function exists there. So quality is in limits. It's not unknown. It's not indefinite. It can't be indefinite. If you ask what's quality of nature, can you define quality of nature? Because for that you have to understand nature first. And nature is so big science, it's not easy to understand all the time, because we have no access to go there. On earth we do something, we have access of that, or remotely we can study something, but we cannot know everything about that. So that's highest level of quality nature has done. Nature knows, God, or you can say whoever in charge of that power knows how this work was done. Maybe before coming to this earth I was there, I don't know. I can't even identify today whether or not I was there, but it does, it happens. It's very important. So quality part of you can say is very important part, and you must be world exists, the earth exists, planets exist. This what nature is giving us service. He's giving us service. We have to realize that if we are taking service from sunlight, means we are taking service from sun. Is it wrong? Are we not taking? Sun gives us everything. But scientifically, it is established that it is 15 crore kilometers from Earth. 15 crore, 150 million miles, a crore, 1 million kilometers from Earth. If God can provide service so remotely, means some object is fixed at 15 crore kilometers from here, and if we get service through that, and extremely exemplified service, it gives, one sun is equivalent to, if you take combine all power stations of Earth, I think you may not find that much power as sun alone has. And to think of size of sun, I'm just saying size of sun, I'm not talking size of other planets. Size of sun is so much beyond our imagination. Beyond our imagination, It looks very small object from Earth, but if you can reach sun, I think you can spend whole life and you may not take in one revolution or one orbit about this. Means just like Earth orbits sun and it takes 1 year to move it. Earth is that fast. If you calculate, the circumference of sun, you think of 13 lakh, 13 lakh kilometer, or you can say 1.3 million kilometer diameter of sun. If you find circumference of that, how much you can say pi d it is, and pi d means if you multiply 3.14, this 1.3 million, and 1.13 if you multiply this, so it's much more than what we can imagine. Can you tell that? Can you reach from here to sun? Means all this, what power of science God has used. I'm sometimes very much surprised if we compare our power, engineering power, science power available on earth. That is nowhere, that stands nowhere. If I see sun size is standing on earth, I see about 20 centimeter size or 22 or 3 centimeter size of sun from here. But if think I stand on sun and I view towards earth, what size earth will be seen? Can you think of that? It's very important point to think. You will find hardly 2 millimeter size of earth, 2 millimeter size. So you can say, what the last difference? Because earth is 1/111. If you place, I was talking to some my friend yesterday, if you keep 111 earth globes together in one line, 111 lithospheres or earth spheres in line, you will find diameter of earth, a sun, diameter of sun. So means it is qualitative functional, it's qualitative object, because it doesn't move from its functioning. First of all, its system is so fixed we cannot even touch it, and it is understood that if something reaches sun, it should have more than 2.25 or 2.5 millions kilometer per hour. Otherwise, sun would pull it into its body. It means we are located 15 crore kilometer from sun, still we are getting 45-degree heat we cannot digest. So what sort of construction is this? What sort of design is this? That's my point of view. Just to understand, I'm not scientist, I'm not saying I'm not astronomer, I'm not, but I can think because of my profession. My profession forces me to think. Engineering forces me to think. And if I cannot think, then I should not call myself engineer. It's fiction only. Those who cannot think, they entitle themselves as I am engineer. No, you are not. If you can't think, everybody can think. See, a child can think, everybody can think, and a person who's never been to school can think. But we are talking logical thinking. Logical thinking and ordinary thinking are different. You can think anything. Oh, I think I should go to moon. You can think, but you are not going because there is no logic in your talk. Just I'm film. They say I'll get you moon, I'll get you sun if you love me. That is there's only fiction. Now you can do that, but it is life. But when I'm talking scientifically, and that is due to my qualification, it's my right to speak scientifically. If I don't speak scientifically, if I don't understand reasons, I am illiterate, I can say. If I talk even to a normal person, and I talk in the same tone that person talks, illogically, there's no meaning at all. Professional people are professional because they used mind, they conducted studies, and they got something, a level of understanding which they got, and that is called their title of degrees, etc. Degrees do not mean it's your some basic property. It only indicate degrees only indicate that you have gone to some level of your understanding of your mind application, and if you apply that, you can move forward. That is only purpose of professional education. Otherwise, certification has got no meaning. If you have certificate and you can't prove that you can't work according to requirement, then I think your certification is only a piece of paper and nothing else. That piece of paper must claim that job. If I am an engineer, say I am civil engineer, I have to prove in my work that I have qualified, I know my job. Okay, experience adds to me, adds to my knowledge, and experience is also degree. Okay, formally it's not degree defined, but experience is much more important than your school education or your university education, because you are learning at responsibility, you are learning on your accountability, you are accountable for that. Whatever work you do, somebody spends money on that. It's question of finance, it's question of safety, it's question of quality, it's question of product. Every question is involved in that domain, and we have to try to understand that when you experience, it's actually a ratification of what you learned. Your experience is kind of corroboration that supports you. You learned something, and that's valid. So it's validation of your knowledge, validation of your learning, and that validation goes on and on and on, and you learn more and more and more, and you say, "Oh, I got expertise now." So there is nothing expert in this world. There's nothing you can say, but we only comparatively call it, we relatively call it, oh, this is expertise, you got it. This means you have certain limit with which, under which you can work, and people, because of that certification of your expertise, they can trust you. Okay, you are a certified person, you are an expert, and we believe whatever you do according to your knowledge, according to your attainment, and that's where we say, okay, fine, it's that. So we have to take consideration of our that quality is not absolute, it is not completely defined. We can modify this, you can rise or drop its application on something, but it is important that we have to move. Quality making itself is a quality system establishment itself is a quality point. Means suppose I establish some system for my quality organization, that itself is a quality. Now, how do I organize? What is my system? How do I procedure it? That's itself is a quality system. I have to write something, think something, and then I have to adopt it, and then I have to then say myself claim that this is this much. Then other person should come and claim, okay, I inspect it and I find what you are saying is right or it's not right, and that's also a quality organization, a kind of quality conduct. So quality doesn't mean work, it means everywhere. If I do my service should be quality based, my work should be quality based, my action should be quality based. These are important point of quality. Quality doesn't mean, oh, what I learned it is quality. Quality can never be learned. Even because of changes, technologies always will find technologies every day change, something new comes in. But we only abuse that power rather than preserving what we learn, enhancing its approach. We do not do that. So points are very, very important for everybody to understand what we talk of, how we talk of. I usually talk of construction engineering because that is field where I have worked in civil engineering, construction engineering, or whatever you can say, related topics in engineering. Engineering in itself is very, very widened field nowadays. Civil engineering itself has many branches, many subjects, and in those subjects even there are many, many further sub branches. My objective of civil engineering has never been to make money. Never. Making money should not be an objective, because what should make when you work hard, spend your life in something, you shall get money, of course. It could be salary, it could be your fees, or it could be something else, partnership in some way. But my objective is not finance, how I get what I get. That's not my objective, because that's not engineering objective itself. But now people change it. Okay, this is money making. Comparatively, this is how much your turnover, what you're getting. But this is not sensible. How much you're working, how much you can change, that's important. And engineering means change, and change from forest to city, change from barren land to river, canal, and to dams. You just erect one dam on some river to make it a reservoir so that it can be multi-purposely used forever. It can be used for transport, it can be used for turbine, it can be used for something else. And there's so many further sub-projects in every project which we use in economical terms. And these go forever, all over the world. So economically we get return, but that's not basic criteria. Criteria is development, and developmental construction means, of course it is. It is economy, but economy is in relative terms, because whatever we are getting from nature. We are not getting from ourselves. We are not creating soil. Never we can create soil. Just like we cannot create water, we cannot create air. We cannot create anything that God has created. We can only use it, and that's it. That's our approach, that's our standard. We have no basically material control. Whatever material is available in nature, only from that we develop. But from where all this material came, nobody has any answer. No scientist, no engineer, no astrologer, no philosopher. Nobody can say from where this material for construction of earth, construction of sun, how and from where this happened. Till today it is secret, and that's what I say. God is a secret word. God is a secret. Well, it is quality issue. I know you know that I want to raise it every day, because I have some problem in myself that I cannot see something, even if it doesn't relate to me. I can't digest if something done on consideration basis, not on quality basis. It is happening. It has happened. It shall happen. Because quality, people do not know what is quality. They know quality of the clothes. Oh, it should be well dressed, very good attraction, skin touch, and that. It's more important than to have a better understanding of everything. It's really wonderful that people just believe in non-quality or limited quality, and they start jumping. Oh, see, I got this and got. So quality issues for me is very important, and for every engineer should be important. We cannot take it for granted and let people do and see. No, let people do and see is not possible. You have to see first yourself what can be the result of that. So in that case, I know I have done very little work in this direction on construction, and that work is very, very small, tiny, you can say. It's nothing. I did it many years back, but I want to extend it now based on this timing, and I see my health. I would like to do something on that. If I could, I guess, of nature, you have to understand something wrong. You have to think on that. You write on that after thinking. maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, it depends on both cases. It doesn't work, then do more work on that. You have to create more attraction on that, and you have to find more solution on those problems, because when it's something problems, of course, will be there. Nobody can run away from problems, and problem, why we call it problem, because itself is based on prob means investigation. We say we have a provision period, we call it 3 months provision period or 6 months provision period. This only means that we are going to watch you, we are going to move what you do, how you conduct. That's all is prob. So prob is total conduct of yourself. Means how do you conduct with people, how do you conduct with your job work, how do you with others. All those conducts are involved, and those are very important points. You have to understand that. Procedure making, thinking of all this, very important. So in this quality approach, I try to involve certain activities of buildings and others. You know very well what I'm talking of, and that's really very wonderful. And I moved a lot. No, you cannot say lot actually. I moved some, I should say. I moved it means, about this. You can say I moved in. I may say like this. I talked of excavation. Then we went further for hand excavation. Then I say okay, formation. Talked of grade slab. Staircase, stairworks, and then also RC suspended slab off. Then we went on to a pedestal footing block, RCC footings. Then you can say generator and alternative foundation. I try to show them checklist of RCC, where structural work, architectural finish, and all holly slab. And you can say RCC sloping portion. Then it is compressors foundations. It's talked yesterday, and we elaborated that tabletop. Then swimming pool. It's big and wellness tank. A firing shooting range. We are talking of, we just enlisted its components. Then we talked of step columns, concrete core, and like that I say RCC walls, concrete core, and lift well walls, concrete core. This is all concrete core is moving here. So we'll do the little refreshing, and all the concrete cores I'll just make fast, because concrete core is important activity. It's not so simple, concrete core itself. This is foundations we have talked of, concrete core, and so it was, I think, that was 6. So before going further, now I also some material for you I was searching for. It's also good if you can see that I can search out something that you can see. This is shooting range. I can write here, if I can. Shooting range I can write here, so that you know it, what I'm talking of. Shooting range. Shooting. I'm simply writing shooting. Shooting range. Shooting I'm writing just for understanding. Shooting. That's it. And it's over. So this shooting now. Also this is shooting another one. This is also shooting, so I will write shooting here, so that will be clear what I'm talking about. Shooting. Similarly, it is also shooting. Just I can give like this. Shooting here. And this is not shooting. This is what it is. Let me see. Inner and CCB room area. Inner CCB. This is CCG inner. I can say CCB inner. This is plant sketch. This is fire suppression energy indicator. Okay. Now I will take time only for what I want to see now. Where do I want to go? That's important part. Whichever I saw, I shall write on that. All these are plans. I'll show you that just a moment, please. Let me bring some sketches for you to understand what I'm talking of. And this is sectional water tank 360. Okay, sectional water tank it is. It's also very important item. I can write sectional water tank. Sectional tank. Sectional tank. Important item I'll show you first, later on I'll show you others. And this is typical site for fabricated, typical site fabricated watt, it is 64. And this is lift forward. This is also very important, so I take it like this, lift forward. Lift form, I'll write simply lift form in this file name, so you can understand that. And this is RCC building frame, so right. Well, I move something else. I go some important file today. I will show few one, not all I can say. This is again this is blinding high building height this much. This is electrical substation. Okay, electrical substation, leave it behind now. I'll say this is RCC wall form. This is important. RCC wall form. I like to show you how it works. RCC wall form. RCC wall form. RCC wall form. Alright, it's okay, fine. Then it is. Well, I think this may be enough sketches today. Cup lock system. Okay, fine. Let us say plan. This is base plate elevation slab supporting system. Proprietary cup lock system. It's not bad. Let us say, just for reference, I'll show you cup lock. Cup lock. Cup lock. Okay. And we move to. I'll just limit some only. I will not break all, because I'll talk in some other. I already have shown you about compressors, so I may not go back there. I'll share with you already. It is alright, leave it. And this is also, I'll leave it. Right, I'll leave this also. I'll take only few so that I don't waste your time. It's a very important time, you know. It is a kind of, you know, this is elevation plan. Okay, this is circular, I'm not taking this one. Okay, this is column form work. This is also important for me. I'll show you column form work here, which is very common item. Column form, column form, column form. Okay, and then this is this again column form. So I again say column form here, column form. Column form, all right. And then this is okay. I'll show you a few. And this is there. I think I cannot say everything. I'll see this again. Column form. Let me see column form. Then it's okay. Then I can't see all. Let me go to selective. Will be selective. This is water reservoir. Leave it now. I'll move to some sketches which I just taken and share with you that one as possible. Let me see. Now I'll discuss this shooting range. Let us see. Now I am going to show you these sketches before jumping on to other one. These are very important sketches. Just see what I'm talking here. This is a sketch here, very small. You can see this is sketch. I think you understand what I'm looking at. This sketch. This is firing range line plan. See this, you can say here, this which we used to talk is this. This from here to here. This is range. This is main building. This is main building. Here. Say it's 15 meters. This is 20 meters. This is something like 35 meters. Sizes means not in comparison to its length and width. This is very small sign because from here on you sit, but we have to use this range. Now here's another range here. This one is pistol range, and this is outdoor range. Here, this distance which is about, you can say this is 300 meters from here to here, and then there's another one that is bullet trap chamber here, and you can say here this is indoor range, this is outdoor range, this main building, this firing range plan, and here are target pits where these are baffle walls. This is baffle wall, and this is also baffle wall, and these are target houses, something like that, which has its own technical terms for shooting range or firing range. You imagine that 300 meters long firing range, then main building here and target pit here is 25 meter wide. Yeah. So this is just dimension of that. This is a structural framing building, a structural framed single story, and this is RCC baffle wall, and then there are gantries across. You can say these are underground below soil target pits, and this is target pit of bullet, which is having another detail. This is one sketch here. We will discuss about this, and I can say that another sketch where it is another shooting, same, but you can say what is this? Means here same sketch but little defined. It's building and same as I said before. And this here is parapet here. You can see we say section elevation of this is building here, and then this is one baffle, this is another baffle, and this raised one means different levels of baffle walls, and here are gantries on which armor plate will be fixed, protected by some other plate of timber. These are bases here, ways, subways. This is here. This is stair type. Enter here and move out. Come inside below this pit and go here. So there is no obstruction to shooting. You can use these ways, and this is the heighted one. Then it is cross. This is where sub-base entry here for target pit, and your earth fill here. Earth fill is this. Earth fill, sand fill, this way. And also if I show you other one, this is just selected for you to talk of today. Top one is all same, but bottom one, if you can see, RCC wall 4 meters high, then 6 meter high, and it goes on increasing. Roof over down steps, down step, this covered area, this one here is covered, this is covered, roof on this, and this is below ground here, that is this one, RCC wall 6 meter sketch, this is all. So we have here, you can see, this is one sketch, line plan exactly, because I was talking of shooting range, and then it was with this section, and you go further, it's little like this. This is what I mean to say I was talking of, and this is not bad to understand something here. How we handle this, that's an important point, how we handle this. Now let me show you something else also before going further, and it is, I talked about left, you remember. I'll show you that, then I'll close that file and I'll start talking of. You see, I'll better rotate this so that it's be more useful to view. You see this, it's very important sketch for every engineer to see left perform work, typical site fabricated. And this is note here, insert door, internal form, 16 bolts to be sleeved in, sleeve to stay permanent. Sleeve means PVC pipe in which your bolt is inserted and is taken out later on, but PVC pipe remains in concrete forever, and it's sealed. And calculate forces for decision, details are indicated. So this is your left plan here. Let us say size I have given 2.95 internal size of this. Okay, size is not a matter here. It's 4 meter here, and this is one lift well I'm talking. I'm not talking different one. And I how when I did, I don't even remember now, but I did all. And this is this is here door, which is here lift door. It's shown outside here. This portion is for door, lift door, elevator door, and this is this is elevation we have fixed, and this is end of that. So from this and from this side it is put in here, this timber formwork, and this is structure of this formwork. It is put in here and we close it. So this portion where this door exists, this formwork goes in, and in this portion it's void, no concrete. This is purpose of this. This is a lift car area, and this is RCC wall here. Now in this case, when we say this A, this is B, A and B, A and B, and we have to show details of A and B, and that's what we did. It is your elevation B, and this is elevation A. Elevation A is here exactly built in, and this is elevation B, which is this one, and this is top. And here lift pit, this is lift pit which is at ground, means this is the elevation. Below here is lift pit, which is also, you can say, V pit. This is platform here, this is platform here, and this pour platform we call it. So we stand here and pour this portion of wall, 4 meter of height, and below there is liquid which is 0.8 meter. That's written 0.8 meter from plinth level. 0.8 meter down is RCC here, and this is wall, means it shall come like this here and go this way. So this wall we are showing this platform here, this is couplog or whatever, and then we make a platform here for purpose of pouring it. This is what lift details I tried to show in just one sketch for your understanding. Then what should I say, sectional tank and RCC valve form. That's also very important. RCC valve form. You can say RCC valve form. This here. This goes, rotate counterclockwise. So this is also very important point here. RCC valve, let's say 30 centimeter valve or whatever, though thinner valve are more dangerous. This is valve section 4 meter high, and this is scaffolding here, working platform, pour platform you can call it, pouring platform you can say. That jack supports is here, and this is your scaffolding, and here you connect somewhere. Is this one bottom, you can see this bottom support here also. This is scaffolding support. This is for holding in position. This is the 1/3 height resultant force here, just to hold in position. This is, you can arrange. Then this bolt is 16 tie, 20 mm is, you can say, plywood. Then battens 50 by 75 mm and 16 tor tie bolts here. It's all tie bolts which are left in PVC pipe. This is jack supports, you can say, half to 1 meter center. Then RCC valve form work system, side fabricated sketch, and then you can say this also I have shown about this formwork, without which we cannot do anything. I just tried to work it on AutoCAD, then just to at least use it, just to know how we do it, and that's very important point. So I can say I cannot open all files all time. So you have seen this all now. I have explained to you how does it work, and we'll see if I can come back to them again, because once it's open it's easy to find it again and do it in this shooting range. So I can close it now, I think, or I keep one file open better, just to show you. One I close it in the same thing. So I close this one, then I close also this one, only because this information is available in the room, so I can use that information. This is facilities, this is this one, homework, this is this one, and that's our main point. So let's say, was I talking here, foundation checklist for foundation. Well, let me see if I already foundation sketch somewhere. If I have, I'll try to bring that into column form. This, let me see if I can find something in footing itself. RCC footing. Alright, something I'm getting, so I'll show you some footing so that you can understand what I mean. There are so many footings here. I'll show you a few only, not all. So it is, of course, there's so many footings here. Let me see how many I can take out for you. I do not see very big footing or small footing. Let us say 1 point, a reasonable size I'll show. Let me show you first 2 into 1 ordinary footing. This other one, this other one. Okay, let me see where I can get it. I think this is manhole. I'm not interested in manhole. I'm interested in something else, Okay, I'll show you this. This is formwork RCC footing. Size is say 2 into 2 meters into 0.5, and this is Alright, this is your footing. So it's good, section also shown in this sketch. Let us see what it is. RCC footing, and this dimension is 2 by 2 into 0.5, 2 by 2 into 0.5, 100 mm blinding concrete below, and that is this blinding concrete, this is blinding concrete, and use section wise. This is it's shutters, this shutters, its details are, this is inclined and horizontal supports, while this is plywood. Here you can see plywood all around, internal size 2 by 2 by 0.5, and this is all packed here. So plywood size shall be 18 or 20 mm thick, and 75 will form lumbers, they call it lumbers also. This blinding, it's just typical sketch. You see this packs in, and this is a form you can fabricate here. Internally this is this is ply, so it goes somewhere, this forms in here. So if you can view on this, you can see this, you will find better understanding for this, what we are talking of. That is, most important point is what you're talking of. You talk of something, it's like this, So it's very isolated kind of independent footing. Means it is basics of this 50 centimeter high. So you see yourself in 2 meters, 1, 2, 3, about half a meter. So these three spacings, this one and this, how many? Because of this, when I put more, no problem. We can think of what to do. 3, 4 spacing, and these all same spacings of half a meter. Because it can be more also, but be better. Is what is, you have to do good work, and that's where remark pieces. If you see this in elevation here, you will find this, and this supports these backs, and these are just on top to hold everything. This is your formwork here. So it's that I wanted to show you. Because of requirements, we should know what we are talking of. The sketches sometimes are very important for work. Without, sometimes one sketch can give you whole idea. Even many pages cannot give you. That was purpose of my including this sketch and taking some time to project them on this talk. The purpose of talk is just to let you know what is done. So I am not taking this file off. I think you have seen it now. Well, it's very simple. It's not very, you can say, complicated. So I take it off, and I take it off too. If I require, I'll open it again. I just try to explain. This is most important here. And even one side you put this walls and bolted in, it works in, and working platform is there. Just for your reference I've shown. And these bars go up already. This is your holding jack, and this is your holding jacks, and this is resultant force jack. And of course then working platform, you can see this also I close it, and this is lift form, which is very important. I try to hold it, and here also the shooting range I keep it. So let's see where do we reach now. This is concrete pour. I explained to you about foundation, which I just shown you, and I think you understand that, right? So let's go to another one. Temperature range is most important in this, and we will see what we do concrete pour for this one. Then step columns we discussed. It's okay, we should move forward. Then grid slab, because it's concrete, let me see. I told you step columns concrete is very small. You may do this crane or manually, or you can receive ready mix concrete, do it. Now let's say grade slab. You know what is grade slab, what I'm talking about. It's plinth level slab, actually it's called grade slab. or otherwise at ground level also. You may call it grade slab depending on your requirement. Everything depends on requirement, and if you have a requirement clear, we can we can do what we want to do. Checklist for glad slab. What is checklist here? We have to understand that it is preparatory works have been approved, I say, and ITB signed off. But what are preparatory works? Well, we talked in item number 9 previously, preparatory works, so you can refer to that. But we have to pour now. Its type is now concrete pour. It is checklist. Uh, we have to decide one go pouring or two go pouring. Uh, One go is preferred because as much as possible you do one time. There's no beam in this ordinary concrete. Ordinary in the sense area may be big. It's just BRC sometimes be embedded in only, not all. And if you don't have this welded wire mesh, which you call BRC, welded wire mesh of whatever designation, designation of that I explained to you before also. This designation of this mesh depends on how many square millimeter of steel wire in 1 meter length, and that gives you designation of wire mesh, welded wire mesh. So we just prepared everything. Only question is pouring, and we have to make sure that RMC deliver order in place, and we have to order. We have to find quantity. We have to how we want speed. We want to do that, and then this is pouring plan. An RMC manager is instructed about grade slab pour being fast, so that's rapid, it's quite efficient, and accordingly, how you have to must quantity. It should be low slump, not very high slump, because it's just late and there's no pump, okay, or two pumps are required. Generally, one pump may do. For this fast concrete, you may take positions of pump 1 to 2, 3 positions, and you can cover whole area of that concrete scope. Then what type of concrete pumps? Then make sure that a single pump is adequate, or there may be required more than one pump. That being on site, you have to decide. Then have bridging plant manager inspect site for assessment, which on every major pour, it's better to call them because they know much about their equipment. We don't know any idea about this. As far as they are experts, we are not. Then what I say, batching plant manager inspect site, and after that, now decide frequency of supplies. Decide frequency of supplies and pouring hours. Means one mixer comes to now trans mixer, how many minutes should come. If you can empty that one in 10 minutes or 5 minutes, then you should get another one immediately. So that sequence proposal, that sequence you have to discuss with required manager, batching plant manager, and they will meet your requirement. Decide frequency of supplies and pouring hours, and decide workforce requirement, strength of pouring period, because it's fast pour, so you need strength of people accordingly, so they spread this material as soon as possible without holding it on site. Even on graded, you cannot hold material more than specifically required. Then workforce I'm talking, make sure all other concrete pour requirements are available. Make sure that access to concrete pump and truck is clear. Now, quality engineer is required to care about testing of concrete. Yes, quality engineer yourself, quality engineer of your supervisor, or quality engineer of Remix, all had responsibility to make sure that they supplied this information in successful. It takes time to test, everybody knows. Preferably pour hours should match with concrete temperature extremes. As I explained, 5 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius is optimum range of concrete and alpha environment. If it's higher, intellectualism says, engineering says, don't do it. Don't do until it is emergency. It is emergency. Then to take care of temperature of concrete. Otherwise, a normal temperature in AC temperature range is okay. There's no harm. Then you can say in case pour duration is long enough, it's long enough, long hours, many hours, then response to workforce, to workers may be required, which necessitates standby team must have. Then safety arrangements are to be looked into as well. Safety engineers should care about. Safety engineers should care about. Check in case trucks have to arrive at a frequent interval of 10 to 15 minutes, which is reasonable. While one truck carries say 8 to 10 cubic meters. 8 to 10 cubic meter, that's where we have to stand. That is about this. When a workforce shall be required, accordingly how much concrete you are cutting. So that. After that, surface finish shall also be required depending on class of surface finish. Generally we take wooden finish is done, no steel finish, because it is to be covered by flooring. It depends upon what sort of flooring it is. You may have very thin flooring, and generally it may be not necessary. Maybe according to the specification that you have to finish this, what you call it, power float. Power float. So you have to keep ready within a couple of hours to check with power float this whole area and do that. There is of course, your ways to understand surface finish is also required depending on class of surface finish, and we have to check whether or not power floating is demanded or thin line tiling work. Certainly it is demanding very expensive projects, like this is hospital project. She through his father-in-law, he says, you can say leveling of surface of finish is very important part. It's like relations, if you do not do this correctly, then you have to adjust your flooring very closely by grinding or by filling depressions, or at least protrusions you have to remove, and that's very important task, very time consuming task. I still know some defects appear in one building, and even soffit slabs of were not fine. So itself grinding work is very time consuming. So we have to be careful about that. Just running without any controls does not mean anything. Then power float is fine. In case it's required, further post pour or long hours shall be required for operating power float. You have to about it. That's why I say it's a very long relation. Power float cannot be applied immediately. It takes time. But you have to first do concrete set positions. You can say after that curing should be commenced with immediately after area is ready for that. Curing compound should be sprayed immediately after or even during pouring is in progress in case of unpleasant temperature or adverse weather conditions. And after that we can say cover surface with polythene sheet over curing compound temporarily. After many hours, remove polythene sheet and cover with Haitian cloth. watered or saturated and recovered with polythene sheet. Means you have to cover back on your saturated gunny bags or Hessian cloths polythene sheet to prevent evaporation of water from saturated Hessian cloth. Now this is cover surface with polythene sheet over curing compound temporarily. Now after many hours, remove polythene sheet. You can say after many hours, remove polythene sheet, and then you can say over curing compound temporarily. After many hours, remove polythene sheet and cover with Hessian cloth, water, and cover with polythene sheet. Again, recover, I say, polythene sheet so that your water saturated Hessian remain without evaporation. It remains in that. Then it says cover temporarily after polythene sheet is back on there. Now process of curing to continue for a specified number of days. Make sure that set concrete surface is ready to be applied with power float or demanded manual finish, whatever is given in the specification, and that's what is grade slab. Now we have here RCC columns concrete pour, important one, RCC column concrete pour, and facility sketch here is, well, it's no column here, fine, no problem. RCC column. It's item 10. I show you a sketch as well. So this is item something else, 31, concrete pour column. You know, column is not just I have to tell what it is, but it is very important part of structure, frame, and without, though we call it column, in fact this is a bending member as well. It's like called beam. It's a bending member. Column is also bending member. Fact is that, to be very frank, a column should not be bending, but practically in all buildings, columns are bending members. People in ordinary life, they can't realize this. They may say, okay, beam is fine, load is coming on that, but only that load is coming on columns, but they do not know that column can also have axial loading, and it bends, and not only due to axial loading but also due to sway, horizontal forces. So it's not easy for everybody to realize. Being an engineer, you know it very well. Bending moments impact on movement of columns, and because of that movement, beams and diaphragm or thin slab also are swayed. So column is that important part which can impact on beams, it can impact on diaphragm slabs. So you can say it can impact on whole superstructure, and when it can impact on whole superstructure, ultimately it impacts on foundation substructure. That's the point we have to concentrate. We have to try to understand that don't take column for granted as seen as, and columns very small sizes. I don't know why people don't understand or they are unable to calculate, particularly those contractors or builders. They don't know how to calculate. Though it's very simple if you can understand theory behind that. What is column, how it works, that we have to understand. Brilliant understanding should be there. Otherwise we cannot do anything on that. It's really very important to understand that. Column is not an ordinary member, it's very complicated member, and it is to be taken in due approach, with due way. And it's just like the title indicates, you have to understand field engineering. When you're talking quality is very important in this way. So I'll take some time now because it's only not very big deal, but I'll speak whatever meanwhile because it's more than 1 hour. I'll just walk 2-3 minutes and come back because it's my medical problem. I'm trying to involve myself in this talk because of certain reasons, because I want to share my experience with you. At the same time, I have to be a little comfortable. Otherwise, it's a problem. Everything is a problem if you're not comfortable. So I'll be back in 2-3 minutes. So hold on, please. Because meanwhile, I can read these few lines and be comfortable with understanding. So it's very, very, very much cumbersome for me to understand what I'm doing, how I'm doing. Really speaking, stars. I think it's difficult to jump walking it is. Tilted, I tilted. So let's go back now to discussion. My God, gentlemen, I come back again. RC column, which is column, I can say, most important part of a building, of a structure, and life has column also. Everybody has column in life, and that column is mind. That column is your quality. So first requirement is you cannot cast one column if you are taking concrete, procuring concrete from plant. There was time when there were no plants. Those days, even you could pour one column. I still remember my instance in Libya in 1981. Though there were in those days batching plants everywhere. Everywhere means there was no problem, but not very widely spread. And in country like Libya, which was a remote world in North Africa, every material was not available due to some reasons, which I don't want to discuss. And I started one substation project. We are doing concrete of superstructure. I remember that we prepared one column form, we prepared one column only, and poured it manually by mixing on site. We were doing site mixing those days, using our hopper or calibrated mixer, site mixer. I still remember that day. It was in, I think, 83. Yes, 83. Exactly, Benghazi city. And okay, let's start symbolically. If not all, at least one we can do. We had planks, we prepared columns, forms for steel, and we try to do one column for sake of inauguration. And we distributed Pepsi and all that biscuits to our workers, and they were happy. And the next day or next time we prepared 4 or 5 columns, shutters. Then one Misri Egyptian worker asked me, Mohindas means engineer, you distributed Pepsis for one column. With biscuits you distributed, now you have 4 columns, so where is my Pepsi? Yeah, if you say one for one column, they are allowing Pepsi in biscuits, so why not for 4 columns? Means they thought that way, but they didn't understand. Only for inauguration, symbolically I did that. Well, it's just a amusement example. We have to we have to understand, means the columns, concrete is very very limited. It's very only element in building where quantity is minimum. Even in footings it is considered quantity, but in column section, column height, even it is 4 meters, let us say. Suppose column is 0.3 by 0.3, let us just think of 0.3, 0.3 means 0.09, or let's say 0.1. 0.1, and even if you take 4 meters, so this is just 0.4 cubic meters, or less than that, 0.39 cubic meter for that. One less than, you can say, in one, if you take a bag of cement or mix one bag into one, you will not get more than 0.3 cubic meter of concrete. When 3 bags will, 3 batches would get you. In one batch you are going to have 2 bags cement. So in two batches you will fill, say 2 columns. So a concrete quantity in columns is small. So we have to be very considerate about that. When we start something, we should have enough area to pour that. Otherwise, it's just this. You have to wash your mixer. You have to do everything. People have to dust their face in cement, and when you start something, they should work at least for a few hours. I mean to say, you cannot start something. Okay, we do this. Means you should have some work. That's what site planning is. That's what day-to-day understanding is. If I understand, okay, I don't want to do 2 columns, 3 columns, I want to do say 8 columns, 10 columns, or half of a very good columns, or whatever forming material I have, according to that I want to do. So at least 5 cubic meter, 10 cubic meter concrete if you don't have. I think you should not do that risky business, because it takes time. You have to concentrate on that. You stand on site. Your people have to stand on site. It is columns. You have to a lot of work in that. And I mean, say you suppose there are 5, 6 columns in one row, or one. You have to align them. You have to align them in both directions, this way and that way, and that is really time consuming. You can't have light at this all time, and you have to do. In those days it was the string work, means threaded check thread. We just put, as I explained to you, take a line to read, means 1 meter away from center axis of column, and then you fix both sides, x axis and y axis, and make sure that this is oriented rightly at bottom and top, and in middle covered by plumb bob, or site made some site standard plumb bob. So it takes time. So therefore it's important. Don't just be, in rapid mode to do 2 or 3 columns. Make proper planning that I want to do at least 5 or 10 cubic meter concrete. Or if you have some other element ready, and you can say, okay, these columns I will do same time, I will do this, because column takes time. You cannot fill it immediately. You have to do in layers, 400 layer, then vibrate it, and then another 400 like this. So you have to come there, sometime here, sometime there. It takes transportation time more than just pouring time. So we have to be determined, we have to be decisive about that. Don't be in rash, think mature way. I'm not going to show someone else, but how convenient it remains for me and for my career. So first is make sure that all columns of preparatory works are clear of all dust and dirt and well watered, see. And after that, all nails, loose binding wires must be taken out. Then quantity of RMC, I'm saying RMC, should be enough for placing an order, though tentative booking might have been done in past, but confirmation is required now. They go to required boom length pump must be ordered. What pump you want, you have, this is a requirement. You can say required boom length of pump must be ordered. Ensure that preparatory works have been approved and inspection test plan or ITP signed off. Again I say pump may not be available. You have to keep this in mind, because pumps remain occupied all time on major ports, and ready-mix concrete supplier is a commercial person. That person will see how much or how many cubic meter I send. If you require only 2 or 3 cubic meter and you engage pump in that, it's sometimes very difficult to find pump from batching plant, and it delays your concrete. So you have to be ready with that tackling, how to tackle that. Now make sure access working platform, I showed to you that access working platform, let me see, is available there. It's not available there. Access working platform is ready to safety satisfaction duly tagged at all risky droppable height areas, and make sure that all supports are in place and all clamps and bolts are intact. Then make sure attendance of steel fixers and carpenters for responding during emergency of sides opening or bulging or some other unknown requirement. Make sure competent pouring gang or crew is deployed for required duration. Make sure that vibrators are available and in working condition. Also make sure that standby vibrator to works in accordance to our requirement. Standby vibrators must have, and make sure that all curing arrangements are intact for immediate application, and that concrete pump and first transit truck which arrives as advised to plant, and also that additional reducing size outlet of boom is attached. Additional reducing size means what I'm saying is reducing, because maybe your 4 inches pipe or 3 inches pipe is too big to go into column section, and if there's internal steel as well. So you have to provide a reduced pipes at disposals point. That's what it says, that additional reducing size outlet of boom is attached if so required, keeping in view depth of bore and size of column section. Then arrange quality assurance engineer or quality engineer for testing purpose. Arrange quality assurance engineer for testing purpose, or quality requirement you can say rather than assurance. Quality you say quality engineer better. Assurance is very old word, and this is old one file, so I'm just changing simultaneously as speaking. Concrete to be cleared after initial site tests are completed. Means you have to clear it, and means what you do? You have to ensure weather and concrete temperatures before allowing truck to station pump. Means where the station pump is, means a pump is working, you have to send concrete truck to that location, and also make sure that vibrator reaches to lowest layer of concrete. Your nozzle vibrator should have enough length chute pipe that it reaches down to concrete level for purpose of vibration. Otherwise we'll find loose concrete or wide concrete or some other major problem which would make issue future. So you have to ensure that your vibrator nozzle reaches to lowest layer of concrete. Make sure that layers are not poured at one time. Not show appear one time more than 400 to 500 mm deep because of nozzle length, nozzle size. And it's also not easy that your nozzle in concrete, which is wet one, moves comfortably, so we have to be careful about this. And also make sure that vibrator needle does not touch formwork. It should not, because it can vibrate and formwork can open. And also make sure that needle does not touch rebars. Both can't be touched. Rebars can be loosened with force of nozzle, and that then purpose of binding wire stops. Make sure then that all columns are poured one after another, only in layers. It is advised that in no case one time height should exceed 1 meter. One time height exceeds 1 meter for preventing form sides bulging. So one time you should not pour more than 1 meter, which means maximum 3 layers, one after another, then you shift to next column. So that 1 meter is, I think it's okay. 1 meter means resultant pressure of that concrete of 1 meter shall be at 1/3 of a meter, which is we can say 330 or 33 centimeter or 0.3 mm from base. So is not from this end, from that end. If you calculate this 1/3 means even 2/3 there, or it's maybe more. Now cancel it. So we have to make sure this first meter and second meter, and there will be gap of 10 meters between layers. It is possible. And then we have to see that says that possibility is that concrete shall fall out of column forms and must be removed immediately from ground, otherwise it will set. Hammers can be used to tap form. Hammers can be used. Hammers, not big hammers, ordinary small hammers, just to make sure that there's no hollow soundness. Hammers can be used to tap forms from exterior surfaces to ensure that all areas of concrete gang, all areas of forms have received concrete to avoid any voids. After that, you can see that hammers void just to know is concrete there, no concrete there, some concrete missing. We should not get any ringing sound from there. We should get solid sound. If concrete doesn't exist somewhere, we can know, but only from that point. But it doesn't help us. I always respect your papers. But as you say, now concrete, we hammer it out and it says there is nothing behind this point, must be checked in. If you find whole surface, then you have to check again how good also is. So hollow soundness check is this, just very simple check. And after that, you can say concrete gang or crew. Concrete crew should be kept on rotating from one location of column to other location of column. After completion of all pours, the site should be clear of all debris and vegetation should be kept on top of columns. Form sites, in case of high temperatures, should be kept wet by spraying water on exterior surfaces. Form should not be removed from columns before 24 to 36 hours, depending on weather conditions. Then, if there is no requirement of immediate reuse from form, if there is no immediate requirement to reuse, form striking may be delayed. This requires keeping exterior surfaces wet with water spraying, and partly you can say thermal curing is also affected, partly. Because column is closed from four sides, only a small portion of section of column side is open, which can be closed by adhesion and covered with polythene, so that whole system is thermally treated. Then you can say then better delay next repetition. If you have no scope open in your system, in your site, then you can say immediately after striking forms, you have to remove form, you remove striking. When I call it striking, it's removing form. Immediately after striking forms, urgent inspection has to be done. Inspection by yourself for any defects and for resorting to non-compliance reporting as well as recommendation of remedial actions, both compliance or no compliance, and if there is no compliance, then what are remedial actions required. This must be acted upon by both quality and concrete engineer. See what's happening to me. Now you have to do inspection and you have to know defects, and then you have to deal with NCR or approve or remedial actions, whatever. Curing requires to be effectively continued first by applying curing compound of wet RCC surface using either water-based compound or wax-based compound as approved or according to project. Then when say complete duration of curing has to be complied with without either any slackening of compromise. No slackening, no compromise, please. You have to comply with specifications or with standard system. You cannot go beyond that. What is job in those days is not important because it's also part of learning. Means sometimes you are free, you are at night. Well, water curing can be done on columns. Water curing can be done on columns, which shall be more effective and in fact 70% effective if carried out intensively, though quantity of water consumed shall be considerable. Curing compound based curing is effective only between 50 to 70% if it is water based. Then type of curing compound. Now I know you also see many people sell milk. Once I on this particular station discovered there's this carrying some temperature, and I went there and I see that people do not know what is curing compound procedure. It's very important to understand. We are spending money, lot of money is spent, remember. That's the method for curing compound, which is generally water based. That when you remove shutters, you have to first inspect everything, and of course you have to start curing. But what curing means in curing compound case is that compound does not cure. We have to understand that point. It's not compound that cures. This compound is meant for protection of evaporation. When you leave concrete as it is, or just you yourself put compound on that, this won't work. Never. Go and leave it and see everything. So these points we have to understand very, very clearly, that we have to spray water on surface, we have to cover with curing compound. We have to spray plenty of water on that surface, and then we apply. One is base, like bases. We did out of that with other one. So we have to, if you have old copy of curing and you find update on that, So when you say I curing, I use water first, and then immediately I scour its surface with curing compound. That's point. Because when you put water on surface of concrete and immediately apply curing compound, purpose of curing compound is served because the water is a membrane there and curing compound is membrane protective. If you, there's no other way. Without curing bearing. Why is it curing bearing? So we continue our talk. So percent effective water curing can also be done on columns, which be more effective and in fact percent effective if carried out intensively. Intensively, the quantity of water consumed shall go considerably. Shall be considerable. Now, curing compound based curing is in so let's go further on RCC wall concrete pour. RC wall concrete pour. Yes, we have. No, not this one. Well, it's lift well, but its function is same. Arrangements are same. So we can. This is also wall. In fact, if we verify, and this is to wall. So we can understand that way. It's wall. That is concrete pour for wall. Concrete pour for wall. Let's say this item 11 of past one, and this is 32 concrete pour. Make sure that wall works have been approved for pouring. That you have to make sure all the time, and whatever you do, it should be pouring, it should be approved from that viewpoint. Right, you can say. Make sure that wall works have been approved for pouring, and then check whether walls are to be poured by pump or it is by crane, tower crane or mobile crane. Since walls are not many in any building, pour quantity may be limited. Because walls are not many, then check all working platforms. All working platforms are safe. All working platforms are safe, which may be installed from either side of walls working platforms are safe. As you know, I showed to you that in that working platform, actually it's still there. I can show you. Just likewise, it's a working platform. Poor platform, here it is. I have shown you that one. Then after that, make sure that preparatory forms are cleaned properly, leaving no unrequired dirt within. All preparatory work platforms are cleaned properly, leaving no unrequired dirt within. Ensure that plenty of free access is available to reach either concrete bucket, chute, or pump, boom. Ensure that plenty of free access is available to reach either concrete bucket, chute, or pump, boom to level of first drop of concrete. It's for crane, both mobile crane or tower crane, or it's for, you can say, pump. In certain cases of thin walls elements, say 15 centimeter with possibly, or I don't think 100 is very good in this case. A reducer shall be attached to reducer service at disposal point of pump, boom. Reducer shall be attached to end of initial original pump, boom. Check all concrete pouring inventories as explained on other previous lists. We have to do that. That is what I see is important one, that we have to see, check all the concrete forms. That is an important item. And you can say, you may say it was just a minute please, I'll just hold a moment. I'll just write something very important information, I will forget otherwise. 56265, yes, 18443, 18443 actually, 18443. This is your sort this. All right. Yes, I just come on, before we go further on this. Now, we have to say, I was just sorry for some break. Now, check all concrete pouring inventories. It's explained, and it's said that on other basis, so all inventories we have to check what we require the ground, and make sure watering into wall works as well as supports being intact. Watering to wall works. Now, ensure availability of carpenters and steel fixers, as we did before, for unknown happening. ensure availability of carpenters and steel fixers. Check plumbs and wall line are in position. First, you have to check wall lines at bottom, at mid, and at top, and then you see plumb on both sides at different locations. Because wall is thin and it's long, so we have to take at least every meter plumb at least on one side. Wall line are in position to monitor whatever setting out alignment. Now receive concrete as usual. Check through quality controls for all site tests. After approval, allow concrete to wall location where pump is stationed, and pump will take care of that. Pour whole first layer of all walls. First layer same 400 mm. Now pour whole first layer in all walls and apply vibrator correctly, rightly, so that concrete reaches to all corners and edges of first layer. Pour other layers. Pour other layers as usual in sequence gradually. Pour other layers as usual in sequence gradually. It would take hours for pouring a single wall. Yes, that's true. Quantity may not be big, but hours will be required because it's wall and we have to be very careful because there are chances of bulging in wall. Being thin, member compared to the size, reach concrete to top of concrete marked line and give required roughness or demanded finish. After first instant curing, top by covering with polythene membrane or wet Hessian cloth. Make sure there is no opening of foams. Make sure there is no opening of foams or bulging during concrete, and if so observed, try to reinstate back to true position using props or other supports. Make sure that there is no openings of foams or bulging during concrete, and if observed, try to reinstate back to true position using props or other supports, but remember it's too difficult. Once it is pushed, it's pushed. It's pressed, it's pressed. It's almost impossible to recover that bulging. Check that foams are not removed prior to at least 48 hours of lapsed. After, you can think to remove foams. Now apply water on foams, exterior on and on top of curing purpose after few hours of concrete is over. Clear all debris from around wall area of isolating. Then if you think you need to pour curing compound, you can go ahead, no problem. Same procedure for curing compound, that you have to sprinkle water after inspection of defects. Just sprinkle water on the surface and immediately cover with curing compound. Curing compound is very important material to understand. Just for your reference, again, two important types of curing compounds. One is water-based and one is wax-based. Wax-based. Water-based gives 65 to 70% maximum efficiency, where wax-based gives full width. Wax-based means you have to sleep down. That's wax-based. And then you can see checklist for RCC lift wall, concrete pour, RCC lift wall, concrete pour, which is big one, and we are going to Same point here, RCC left. You can see notings here. Meanwhile, it's because it's important one item, very important item. You can see important noting, important sketch. That's very important one for everybody, and it should be clearly done. If it's done, it's done, and if it's not done, it's not done. So you have a few minutes to go through this. I can assure you, it's good for you. It's a sketch. You can, meanwhile, read this sketch. 5 minutes. Hold on, please. I think you have seen by now sketch very well, so we can continue our talk. Just 14 seconds. Just touch my legs, which was required. So I think you have done it. The sketch is clear. You must have taken note of this sketch, right? Let us see what we do, what we had to study. That's important point here. That point is very important, and I think we should move on to this. This is RCS lift valve walls, and make sure that wall works have been approved for boring. Everywhere this is first point, that whatever you pour, it must be approved. If you are supervisor, you are authority to approve. You have to approve, or you are contractor's person. Means whatever is procedure, you have to approve first. Then someone else, and then someone else. It is sequence in methods. Who are approved authority in what you do, so you do that for yourself. Well, then wall works have been approved. Means there's no other way, it should be approved. Now check all working platforms on both sides of lift. Well, working platform means internal as well external, and same platform as I showed here. That this platform, for example, this is a platform. No, sorry, this is a platform here. And outside also there is a platform which are not shown here, but means like that should be there. Either this and that. Or if you can control from one end, you can control from one end, no problem. It's up to how efficient, how powerful is your the system is, that's more important. Alright, so we can say make sure all works have been approved, and check all working platforms on both sides of lift valve are safe, which may be installed from either side of wall. Make sure access working platform is ready to safety engineer satisfaction or safety satisfaction, rather say. Duly tapped in at risky droppable height areas. Make sure access platform is ready to safety satisfaction, duly tagged at all risky droppable height areas. You got will be droppable height areas means when there's a limit up to 1.5 meter, 2 meter, there's no major risk. But when you stand higher, when there's a 3 meters, 4 meters height, by chance there's a risk you fall, you drop, you are subject to death, subject to fatality. So what says that? That's what's required, is make sure access working platform is ready to safety satisfaction, duly tagged at all risky droppable height areas. That's meaning of that. I try to explain that. Ensure preparatory works like steel fixing and placing and your formwork and whatever is this. Just preparatory works have been approved, and that's clear. ITP is over. Then also watering into wall works as well as support being intact. You check supports, all supports, and you put watering, so cleaning purpose. That's everywhere in concrete do for various purposes. And also it eliminates risk of flash setting. Then I will ensure availability of carpenters and steel fixers as usual for any mishap, to control that, to combat that. Means whatever displacement of preparatory works is expected should be avoided by immediate attention by these carpenters, former carpenters and steel fixers. Check the plumb and wall line are in position. Plumbs all the time, everywhere is applicable, and wall lines both, everywhere these are applicable. So plumbs and wall lines are in position to monitor whatever setting out alignment, and make sure that all supports are in place and all clamps and bolts are intact. That's very important point, because supports are in place and all clamps or shikanjas, you can say, or bolts are in place. Also make sure attendance of steel fixers, carpenters for responding during emergency of sides opening or some other requirement. Make sure competent pouring gangs or crew is deployed for required duration. Also make sure vibrators are available and in working conditions must be made sure. And also standby vibrators 2 are available, and these must be in accordance to requirement working conditions. Make sure that curing arrangements, whatever by curing compound of water, are intact for immediate application. Make sure concrete pump and first transit truck mixes arrives as advised to batching plant managers, and make sure additional reducing size outlet of boom is attached if so required, keeping abreast pore and size of column section, or keeping in view depth of pore and size of column section, or it's column section, actually it's wall section, by error it is column section, apologize for that. Then we have to arrange quality engineers for testing purpose, and it says concrete has to be cleared after initial site tests are completed. Ensure weather and concrete temperatures before allowing truck to station pump. And also make sure vibrator reaches to lowest layer of concrete, and layers are not poured at one time more than 400 mm or maximum 500 mm, because 10 or 100 mm interlocking is required in second layer, third layer, so the previous one is interlocked with 100 mm. Also, vibrator needle does not touch formwork as well as steel bars, and explain to concrete supervisor that pouring has to be started in such a way that corners are poured first, to have concrete move in all directions uniformly to certain extent in all directions because it's lift. Make sure concrete layers are formed around lift well forms, and due care taken for door position formwork. That's what's important. And pump boom has to keep on moving around preparatory work parts to allow uniform pour. All layers have to be vibrated thoroughly, gradually, and concrete has to be kept on pouring till 1 meter height in layers, and depth is poured around. Also make sure that at least half an hour gap is allowed to pour, so that poured concrete sets to certain extent but doesn't form cold joints. We don't allow cold joints in whatever concrete. Keep in mind, pour other layers till 2 meters high. Depth is completed and allowed to stay another half an hour for resting, for settling. Continue whole height following specified sequence and start curing initially as explained previously. Means from external as well as from top. Make sure top of concrete wall is roughened. Top of concrete wall is roughened for making construction joint. All walls outside forms have to be kept wet. Outside forms have to be kept wet, and top covered with polythene or wet Hessians. So you have to cure it in hard from outside on forms itself. That was say all walls outside forms have to be kept wet, and top open layer covered with polythene or wet Hessian, saturated Hessian, you can say not wet Hessian. Check external forms as well as internal. Let me see first what it says, because what I explained to you should be clear. What I said that this is door here, these are forms here, internal and external both, and this is lift piece. So we are talking of pouring this wall, which is all this wall from here to here. This is what we are going to pour, and this portion is door portion which has to remain void, and above that it is full. when we are suppose at this level here. Here it is complete pour from 2.1 meter to whatever height, 4 meter or 3.5, that is complete round here. So problem is only in this pour. So what I stated, let us say we start here, pour, fast moving, going this way, move fast, going this way, 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 and coming this way. And let's say it's 0.4 meter depth you pour in one go. So approximately how much it is? Let's say 4 meters, and let's say this is 3 meters. Approximately I'm taking 3, 6. Let's say 4 and 4, 8, 8 and 3, 11, 11 and 3, 14. But minus, let us say 1 meter. So this is say 13 cubic meter, 13 meters, 4, 8, 8 and 3, 11, and this is say it is 13, 12.5, or then let's say 13 cubic meter, and 13 into 0.4, I think it is 0.3 or 0.4, whatever it is, means I think maybe it's 0.3 or 0.4, whatever. Let us say it is 0.4 for just for understanding. I'm saying not necessary. I'm not shown here, no problem. And this is not shown here. So let us say it is 4 because this double here. In case it is 13 into 4, the half square, 13 into half, 4.4, 13 into 4, 52. This is 0.5, 5 square meters. 5 square meters here, this surface area, plan area, 5 square meter. And if it's multiplied by say 4 meter height or 3 meter height, so 5 into 3, 15 cubic meter. If it's 40 centimeter, and it is 30, it is 3/4 of that, so this is about 12-13 cubic meter. So you have to pour at least 1.5 truss mixer here. So it should be fast moving in one total it is, and then this is suppose you are going to pour in 3 layers or 4 layers. So this is 3 cubic meter in each layer. So you are going to pour 3 cubic meter. You have to be careful about this. In this go, in one layer is 12 meters, as I said, 12 into 1, 12 cubic. This is 4 square meter, 5 square meter, 5 square meter into 1 meter, 5 cubic meter, 4 cubic meter. You are going to pour in 1 meter height, and in one layer is 1/3 of that height. So you can say 1.5 cubic meter we are pouring here in one layer, and that should be vibrated, then another 40, and that should be vibrated, and then another 40, that should be vibrated, and then hold on. So you have to order concrete in that direction. So if you just leave everything here, say you're not revolving like this, not directing pump operator like this, you will suffer. That's point of understanding, point of precaution here. So move it like this, come back like this, come back like this, and then in all layers until here. Then you move very fast also and move completely like this. Don't station boom here. Oh, boom, you cannot play, you cannot move this way. This is technique of this. Don't station pump, keep moving, keep vibrating, keep moving, followed by vibration, and you come back, keep moving, vibration means pump boom boy has to be very smart, and also vibrator boy has to be very smart. Otherwise you will not be able to do this. And you will pour more here and less here and less here, and you will find many curves on this surface, and many hot joints and many cold joints which are not acceptable. So lift valve pour is a little complicated. That was the reason I tried to separately explain to this, and this is means no concentration of any drop here, no concentration of any drop. You have to move gradually. It takes time because you can't simply move pump like this. You have to take this little up pump, then down, then up. How many times you have to take this boom up, how many times you have to take down, because reinforcement available. You cannot continuously move in this. Yes, you can move it on top, but then you take it down, then dispose the concrete, then come up. So it takes some time. And again you have to immediately apply vibrator. That's another point. So must be total controls, and your people must know it very well how to do this activity. That's very important. So I say, so that I try to explain now. Check external forms as well as internal forms by strong hammer impact to find in case some wires to access during application of vibrates hammer you to do. You find some ringing sound or hollow, then you have to think of why concrete did not reach there, then you have to vibrate that. It's immediately in layers where your layer is, you have to hammer it so that at least when you do upper layer of that layer, you should hammer it to make sure that something is left. So application of vibrator was not perfect. And then you apply vibrator again, or else it shall become void when you open shutters, and that repair is very expensive and costly. That's what is technique is. Means you have to be behind concrete all the time. And it says make sure that repetition of form would not be required soon, which means that there would be no earliest requirement to strike forms in specific duration. Generally what happens is that bottom form goes to upper portion. This form until lift is completed cannot be taken out. In whole story, lift is unique, single set of forms that can be used above and then above like this. So don't be in hurry if you say you have time for upper lift. Even if it's required for 7 days, you can put these shutters provided you do curing well. And then you take out, takes whole time. It doesn't take 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 1 hour, 2 hours. It takes a lot of time because there are 4 shutters inside. There are 4 shutters outside, 8 shutters, then 2 shutters inside. 9 or 10 shutters you have, and then you have many bolts per square meter. 3 bolts possibly there are. And let us say someone will say this is about 12 meters and 12 and 12, 40, 20 meters length into 4 meters like 80 means 240 bolts could be there. So you have to take out first bolt, then you have to take out all other clamps, then you have to take out so much from that. It takes time, lot of time for lift to be struck. So don't worry about that. Even if you start after 2 days, 3 days striking, it will take many days to strike. That's the beauty of lift casting, which people don't realize. So in case of such non earliest, it's such a no earliest requirement to strike forms in specified duration. In case of such non early requirement of striking, do not allow removal of forms after 48 hours, but keep curing intact from top as well as from outside of and shutters. Allow removal of forms only when it is to be repeated for higher level. So you won't find, let it be there. What's problem is it's getting working, and we take out forms and replace them after remaking. During monitoring of forms, make sure that lines do not go out of tolerance limits, and if so, try to reinstate by tightening supports. After striking forms, make sure that defects are identified for raising non-compliance reports. Then you can say after striking forms, make sure the defects are identified for raising non-compliance report, and recommendation for remedial action to close NCR. So we, I think, have gone 2 hours on this. It's 2 hours 39 minutes, so third hour is running. Let us see how can we move now. It is RCC longitudinal stair concrete pour. I think must be somewhere I have drawn it. I don't exactly remember where I draw it or not. That's my weakness to know. Let me see if I can find something in this. If I can find, I'm not sure. Trying is never wrong. Trying it. This is not, this is not, this is not, this is not, and this is also not, this is not. Okay, this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not. I'm trying to bring you sometimes reasonable work. हाँ डॉक्टर साहब राम राम डॉक्टर साहब
वेरी गुड ओल्ड इज गोल्ड ओल्ड इज गोल्ड
ओल्ड इज गोल्ड
मैंने देखा भाई की
हाँ उड़ गया
हैं
नीचे वो डिस्टर्बेंस होती है
नहीं वो सो भी नहीं
सो भी जाती है सो जाएगी ना डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगी
वो सोती भी नहीं
वही है ना
मेरे कच्चे बनियान वगैरह थे वो कहाँ गए
कच्चे बनियान नहीं कहीं होंगे इधर देख लो कोई रखे होंगे वो कर गया इधर उधर यहाँ रखे हुए थे बहुत
हाँ वो बेवकूफ आदमी
देख रहे होंगे लाइट जला के देख
छेड़ापनी तो करता है
हाँ
कुछ चीजों की छेड़ापनी करता
है ना वो तो कर आदत थी उसकी लाइट जला लो डॉक्टर साहब आप डॉक्टर साहब जो भी था
पंजाबी इतनी खून में होता है मैंने देखो पंजाबी कहीं पढ़ा है वो खुरापाती करेगा देखो मेरा ये कभी तक नहीं हुआ आज तक
मिला कि नहीं मिला कि नहीं
मेरा अच्छा बनियान पेट करा कोई
हाँ
मेरे को मेरा वो सेट करा
यार कुर्सी बहुत दिन रखे रहते डॉक्टर साहब ये कुर्सी जो है ना यही रखे हुए थे मैंने पता नहीं वो आके क्या क्या रखे हो या अलमारी में देख लो कहीं पेन तो नहीं गया
उसके तो नहीं है ना
हाँ
उसके तो कोई नहीं था
नहीं उसका कुछ नहीं है होंगे घर यहीं कहीं होंगे डॉक्टर साहब होंगे तो यहीं कहीं जाएंगे तो कहीं नहीं कहाँ करें क्या करेगा वो उनका मिक्स हो गया होगा नहीं मिला अलमारी में देखो हमको कब तक धोने के लिए तो नहीं लगेगा ये नीचे ये रखो कितने लगे ये इसका गंदा था गंदा
इसमें भी हो जाएगा, इसमें भी हो जाएगा। हाँ तो इसमें नहीं ऑन कर लो, ऑन कर दो, आप बैठो ना, गाड़ी में
sorry. Checklist for RCC longitudinal wall stair concrete pour, suspended slab, pedestal footings,
लाइट तो नहीं गई ना,
हाँ जी,
लाइट तो नहीं गई ना, लाइट तो नहीं गई ना,
उसमें लाल आ रही है सामने, इंडिकेटर देखो नीचे वो दीवार पे।
अरे वो लाइट नहीं गई ना, बिजली बिजली
हाँ बिजली उसमें आ रही है, इंडिकेटर आ रहा है कि नहीं?
आ रही है।
बस तो गई होगा, आ रही होगी। Checklist for RCC longitudinal stair concrete pour. Check whether.
कहीं है यहाँ,
हाँ,
बहुत सारे कचरे रखे हैं मैंने,
हो सारे क्या?
वो बहुत सारे कचरे रखे हैं मैंने।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, रखे हुए हैं, ठीक है, रखे हुए हैं तो आपको ही पता होगा। क्या चीज?
सेविंग
हाँ मेरे नीचे है, नीचे नीचे रखी है बाथरूम में, लाऊं?
नहीं, मैं ले आऊंगा। बाथरूम में कौन सा है?
वही जो बड़ा वाला बाथरूम है।
सबसे नीचे
हाँ सबसे नीचे।
जो मैं सोता हूँ।
नहीं नहीं उधर नहीं, इधर लेफ्ट में, पिंक पिंक वाला,
अच्छा, ये
सामने
बाहर
शीशे शीशे के साथ रखी है।
जहाँ जिसका वो गिरा हुआ है।
हाँ हाँ वही वही रखी है। वो दिया है उसको लगाने के लिए, मिली नहीं उसको कलर वाली,
कोई बात
वो पिंक कलर की मिली नहीं अभी उसको, पिंक थी ना वहाँ, तो जब लाएगा तभी लगवाएंगे। So my dear friends, this was it. Today I covered certain procedures for concrete pouring in various locations, in various elements of this drawings I showed to you. I'm not able to find some drawing, and I have some problem. Otherwise, I understood. So, well, I'll take back tomorrow to do something more important. These are various drawings I want to share with you, which are of course very important one for me, for you, for everybody. If these are not covered, well, the purpose is defeated means that's very important from this point of view, and must be there. Management drawings, these are, I did myself long back, but I can't even find sometimes something which is very very important one. For example, it is here, there's no, it's not that. You can see this below me. It's interesting, really interesting. This is just to see how does engineering work, How many see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many divisions are there? That's fine to understand really. Is it 3, 4, 5 here? 5 to 7 and 7, 5, 12. So 12 divisions here, 30 degrees each. It's wonderful, isn't it? I think it's appreciable. Engineers can do this. So engineers are not sleeping, you can do a lot like this. Alright, now I'll take up again next time. I'll close it today with this. I think I should. Thank you very much. I'll take up this later on. Right now, I'll close it.